All right.
No.
Any moment it should be coming on. All right, we are live.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And I'll kind of let you guys, because like I said, I can't see it on mine, but just kind of see how many people we got before we really get started. We usually do that, Joe, just kind of let people give them time to join us. So you guys let us know we're 10 to 15 or so or more.
They come on.
I haven't seen it come on, Lee.
10 to 15 or so or more.
Yeah, it's up to 11 now.
Okay. We can go ahead and get started. So, welcome everyone to the Behind the Mic as we come to you each and every week. With me as always, got Big Daddy Brian Lane. Lane Pie, how are you doing this week?
Doing great, Sam. The weather started to warm up and I'm actually enjoying it.
Not working already.
Very nice.
Was I having trouble?
I got you now. So,
well, I don't know what happened there. All
okay.
Right. Yeah, I've got full bars and all that with the Wi-Fi and all that. So we'll see what happens here. But anyway, we still got people watching, I hope.
Yeah. So no,
Okay.
good week, Sammy. Weather's starting to warm up here. Snow's melting, so it's actually nice to get around and a nice couple sunny days. So I'll take it.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. And with us as always, of course, is Brian Delaney, who looks like on a beach somewhere. Very nice. Delaney, How are you this evening?
I'm good, buddy. So we've got about a 65-degree change in temperature in the last week. We went from minus 15 or 20 to 45 today. We call that t-shirt weather up here in Wisconsin. Did we lose Sammy?
Maybe we did.
I think so.
All right. And then thank you, everyone. And also we have with us today our guest, Joe Decker. Mr. Decker, we really appreciate you joining the show this week. Ultra fitness, kind of just a stud. So we're going to have him come on. He's going to talk about his the business he has, some of the events that he's participated in, and some of the events he's actually participated in, also a Guinness Book of World Record holder. So, Mr. Decker, we really appreciate you being on the show. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
So we'll just kind of go ahead and get started off with, if you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into fitness, and what have been some of the events or some of the things you participated in that kind of stand out for you, sir?
Oh man, that's always a long one there. I'll try to abbreviate because my wife tells me I'm damn long-winded. Yeah. You can
give us the Reader's Digest version. That'll work.
Yeah. All right. You like Forrest Gump. I started running one day and I kept running. And
so you just ran.
That's pretty much it. Did we lose Brian too?
Man, oh man.
I'm here. My video just crapped out.
Okay.
I mean, I can hear you. Guys go ahead. Or not.
Some internet issues here today, but thank you for technical difficulties, as they say. So no, thank you for bearing with us. So no, you started off just running one day, and you kind of got into the. Obviously, you've ran some ultra marathons and so forth. So what are some of your other highlights there?
Well, you know what? Going back to, if you don't mind, I'll just kind of rewind. It's funny because I actually got into fitness for different reasons. A lot of people think that I got into it because, I like want to have six-pack abs and buns of steel and big biceps and all that. But I grew up on a farm, and then I went to military like Brian's brother, Kyle. And after I got out, I was lost and kind of disillusioned. You'd lose that band of brotherhood. and that camaraderie and that high speed, kind of fitness and stuff like that. So I actually got into drugs and alcohol really bad, and I almost committed suicide when I was 27. I was working on Bourbon Street, consuming a lot of drugs and a lot of alcohol, and about committed suicide. And being someone who gets caught up in that stuff, you can't just run away from it. And fitness had been an integral part of my life when I was a farm boy playing football, and then when I was an airborne infantry guy in the military. So it basically replaced one addiction with the other, and that's kind of where it all started. Was from being a drug down and out drug and alcohol abusing, basically crackhead, living on Bourbon Street. So that was kind of the catalyst for everything, and just kind of. Then I did just like Forrest Gump, just started working out, and then I kept working out, and then kind of went from there,
So obviously in the military, you have a lot of experience with, physical fitness and so forth. What did you pull from that kind of got you, and the camaraderie aspects of it? What did you pull from that when you started working out? What was some of your early focuses? Because I mean, some of these runs that you've done, obviously you just didn't start off running this many miles at one time. What was kind of your build up to it?
Well, you guys know, the military, one of the things is, you may want to quit, but quitting's not an option. You may say, oh man, I'm having a bad day, I'm going to go home. You can play high school, college sports, and you could do that. But the military, you're not going home, because unfortunately people's lives are on the line. And it's definitely a good thing. You don't want people just saying, hey, I'm done and throwing in a towel. So I think one of the things for me, and I would imagine a lot of young men and women in the military, is just that, it's not just about me, it's about us, it's about the group, it's about working together. But then that means individually, you can't quit. Quitting's not an option. And I think when I got out of the military, was able to bring that mindset into alternate endurance events, and I've done tons of them around the world. And I'm not gonna lie to you. People are like, oh man, they think like you never have a bad moment. It's like, holy hell, man, I'd be 5 hours in. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? I want to be home drinking a pina colada, listen to Jimmy Buffett, like running across bad water. But military, you can't quit,
Yeah, that reminds me, looking at your bio, I've watched obviously some other people, and you have that same mindset that like David Goggins and some of those other guys that are out there that do those things. It's just like, hey, I'm not quitting. So it's basically me versus myself and the elements, and I'm going to win and persevere. And so, I read a lot of people who do these kind of events. That's the mindset they take into it. It's really a competition with yourself.
Really what it all boils down to, it's just you versus you. It's not me versus, you or Brian or anybody else. It's just me, like getting it done, and then just being able to see, for me, I always just, it's we only live one time, you guys know. And I'm a crazy mother, like many guys out there. And I'm always curious as what this darn thing can do. The human body is capable of so much, but you see so many people that waste it by sitting on their fat arse and not doing anything with it, which more power to if you want to, but you're just missing out on a wonderful opportunity, And listen, I'm sure like you guys, I abuse the hell out of it with alcohol and debauchery. So I figure, it's that kind of old yin and yang, if you're going to play, you got to pay. Yeah, right. You got to have fun, but on the flip side, it's kind of nice because it's that yin and yang, the good and the bad, the black and the white.
Absolutely. Sam, are you back with us yet?
Boys, I'm sorry. This is even worse than Paducah. I thought that the Wi-Fi here was good, so it's I'll be here or there. But you guys are good at this too, and Joe's a good show. So if I don't make it, this will be you guys. So must be a typhoon coming in. I don't know, but we'll kind of take it as it goes. But so anyway, but Joe, thanks again for making the time. And like I said, we'll kind of take this as it goes. But and I don't know what I've missed, what I've haven't. So I'll just let you guys keep going, and I'll feed it. This is your boys' show tonight. Just have a ball. You're doing a fine job so far.
Oh, good. And again, I don't want to.
Hey, Joe, if we could.
Yes. Go ahead.
I just want, Joe, I'd like to, if you don't mind, to rewind a little bit. Was at what point when you were like, God damn, I got to do something with my life? Was there like, obviously the suicide thing? Was that like the last, like, this is the last straw? Did you hit that wall or bottom? Yeah. I guess you found your bottom, obviously.
Yeah. Brian, it's one of those things to me, because I'm an all or none person. So when I, I'm a military guy, farm boy. When I got down to Bourbon Street, and got into the drugs and alcohol scene, you kind of had to work there because everyone's doing it. And you just, I was the best at it. I mean, I was going through, I mean, a lot. Like, I'm talking like an ounce of cocaine a weekend, and you know, what 12 pack of fists of absolute vodka, and that'd be my warm up. So when I hit bottom, I mean, I you know, it's all fun and games. And listen, man, we all love like the movie Nicolas Cage, you know, Leaving Las Vegas, but at the bottom, it's like, oh shit, and enough's enough. Like now, it's like the party's over. Wait, you got to do something, you know. But yeah, and you know, again, like I tried to outrun it, and that's why I work with a lot of people that dealt with alcohol and drugs, because I being like, you know, I think I'm a strong guy, and I thought, oh man, I can get rid of the addiction, and I can just move back to the Midwest. And my parents are from Peoria, Illinois. Go to the farm, go to school there, and I'd be fine. Man, it followed me. I mean, that thing followed me home. That monkey, I didn't want no sooner moved in, and that monkey was on my shoulder again. And I'm like, I can't go down that road again. And that's actually why I started working out. I mean, guys, I was bad shape, man. I was bad shape when I first started, before I got on the road for the Guinness Book, but stuck with it. And now it's become my passion. It's the addiction that keeps me alive. The other one I know would kill me, you know?
Sure.
So it's
that
one-way
adrenaline
street.
you got from that line of coke you take that adrenaline, adrenaline's adrenaline, you get it from, you know, running 10 miles or whatever it is, you know, like it.
Yeah.
I can
Well,
see that.
you know,
You're an addictive personality kind of thing, you know, like that happens.
Even when you said, when I went back, I got my degree in exercise physiology, and dude, like
so did I.
A line of coke and, you know, a few stair repeats are almost the same. But the line of coke, I'm not going to be, the stairs, I'm not going to be up to 4 a.m. and waking up with a coyote ugly, you know.
There's your bottom there.
Yeah.
That's right. And if my wife catches me with that, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah. So Joe, to get where you were at, obviously, you know, you went down a bad road. I mean, did you have to check yourself into a place or something like that to get on the road to recovery, or did you just hit bottom and say, hey, and just kind of do it on your own?
You know, I was pretty fortunate, Sam. Like, you know, I mean, again, I got a really good, strong Midwestern farm background and a really good military background. And I was pretty fortunate that I was able to do it myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it wasn't like it was just like straight up like that. I mean, it would go up and then shit, I'm on bottom again. Up and then oh shit, I'm almost on bottom again. So there was a lot of hills before I started climbing mountains. You know what I'm saying? Like, but fortunately, I was able to, and I surrounded myself with a good network of healthy, clean people. So, you know, I mean, dude, I didn't have one friend. I mean, everyone that was my crew. It was my crew I was rolling with. You know, slinging 8 balls and drinking every night. Once you get into health and fitness, you're like a pariah. It was funny, man. I was the worst thing around.
Wow. Yep. Yeah. Those people tend to leave if you don't have what they need. Ago now, right? They tend to leave.
Yeah, right. They don't want you calling them at 5 a.m. Hey, dude, you want to go for a run? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What? I just got out of bed. Into bed, I should say. That's been 20 plus years or so now, Joe, that you've been sober in that way. And
oh yeah. No, it's so yeah. The 20, 20, like I said, 20, no, it's 27, so it'd be about 24 years.
Wow.
But again, I go by, you know, 35, there was a few kind of stumbles and falls, and then finally I'm like, dude, that ain't worth it anymore, you know, like, because the working out was too important to me that time, and they just didn't, doing drugs till 4 a.m. and getting up to work out at 5 a.m. didn't cohabitate too well.
They'll say that's a tough road.
Well, I guess
burning your candle at both ends. Yeah, right
for
there.
sure.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say you've done a lot of crazy shit, a lot of, you know, long runs and, you know, push-ups, etc. Your greatest accomplishment presumably would be that, you know, just realizing I got to get my shit together and stay clean and do this, get my high in the gym or, you know, running or whatever it is.
The trail. Yeah, you know, it is. I mean, I love all the events. I mean, I've been across, you know, I've done the 500-mile race across the Himalayas, 150 across the Sahara Desert, been all over the place. But yeah, my favorite, I guess my number one event would just be not being a casualty, man. That curse at 27, and I was at 27, and that's when Jim Morrison and Janice and
right, yeah,
Amy
Jimmy,
Winehouse,
yep.
and then
Jimmy Hines.
and it's kind of it's ironic, as we get older, you look back, and I'm like, holy shit, man, that stuff's actually real. That's actually that's legit. Like, it does happen.
Yeah. And Joe, you talked about how far you ran, these 500 miles and 150 mile, all these extreme long races. I don't even like to drive that far. So how does one even begin to, I can't even imagine, I get mad if I drive over that far, but how does one even begin to train for something like that? Marathons, one thing, but these ultra distances, these ultra marathons, how does one train for that to even get to that level?
Yeah, do you carb load for a year or what the hell?
Listen, I carb load daily, man. I'm a pizza-aholic. You can ask anyone.
There you go.
Yeah.
You start out, it's like anything else. Sammy, it's almost like when you start your checking account or your savings. Well, of course, we're kids, we never have one, but if you start a savings, you just start adding money in and dollars and pennies daily, and eventually you get to the point where you want what your savings to be. Say that's $100. So start at a penny. Well, running, you start out slow. I mean, for me, it started a mile or two. And then fortunately, like I'm OCD as hell and ADD. So able to set up a program to systematically program over time. I mean, you can do it without doing that, but it's not very smart. You you put it together. Like first thing is I want to run a mile, maybe a 5K, and then a 10K, half marathon, 50 miler, 100 miler. And once you get to 100, you're like, I mean, there's like the sky's the limit, And the thing is, people always say like, dude, why would you do that? I'm like, I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, it's not like it's a lot of fun being on your feet for 2 days running through the damn mountains. But for some of us, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I like to see, because I'm a powerlifting, weightlifting, and strongman background. So for me, it's just a challenge to see if the human body, if my body's capable of taking that beating, and my mind capable of taking that punishment and continue to drive on and get it done.
Just incredible. So now when you were in the Guinness Book of World Records, that was for 24 hours straight fitness. Is that correct? So could you kind of explain what exactly that entails?
Yeah. So the 24-hour physical fitness challenge, it was pretty interesting. They tried to do a really balanced mix of, cardiovascular endurance meets muscular strength meets military body weight calisthenics. So you basically start out with an Ironman, and that's your warm up, like an Ironman, which is like, a marathon, 100-mile cycling and swim 2 miles. And then after you do the Ironman, then you go in to the middle part of the workout, which is like 6 miles kayaking, 10 miles in a rowing machine, 10 miles in a Nordic track. And then you go into the boot camp part of it with this. So it's in like 3,000 sit-ups, 1,100 push-ups, 1,100 jumping jacks, 1,000 leg lifts. And then you go into the weightlifting component of it, which they had 10 stations set up. And it was, I lifted 278,540 pounds, which
silly.
I tell you guys, it was definitely one of those things in the zone, because the next day I got home. Well, I'd been up for 2 days. And I got up and I go to the bathroom, and I rolled over, and I hit the floor. I was like a baby seal laying on the floor. My arms, the muscles were just, all of them were in a cramp, and I'm laying there like I just couldn't believe the body did it. But again, one of those things, you get in the zone, and you can just keep going. But it was pretty amazing. It was a pretty interesting record. It hurt like hell, but it was fun.
I was gonna say, how long was the recovery for something like that? Before you got to back and feel normal?
A long time. I actually had to go to the hospital for that, because I started having blackouts really bad. And my doctor, who I'd been close to, because that year I'd done the Grand Slam of ultra running, the Badwater 135, the 520-mile Trans-Himalayan Red Galwab. And in December is when I broke the record. So she'd followed me the whole way. And I had to go in after that. And my PCK levels, which, I forget what it's called. In CrossFit, you get it all the time. Rhabdo.
Rhabdo
kidney shutting down. Charts. I mean, my rhabdo was amazing. She's like, and part of it, like, if I circle back around, was when I turned 30, I'd almost killed myself at 27 from drugs and alcohol. So at 30, I won't say I was on a suicide mission, but I was curious if, as all that cocaine that almost killed me, could all that fitness almost do the same thing as all that cocaine and drugs?
Sure.
And come to find out, it can. It almost can. I mean, it came pretty close. Like it took a long time to recover, but the biggest was a psychological after it, because you come off this high, which is this mountain, and then there's normal life. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like,
Sure. Well, yeah, you're military. You're probably used to that too. They get to understand that. Just firing guns and whatnot. And I gotta go get some groceries now. This sucks.
Right. Go change a diaper now, dude. Wait a second.
Yeah, I gotta change the diaper. What do you mean? I'd rather take a shot at.
Right.
That's just incredible.
The one that really caught my attention is the Sahara. You said 150 miles. Is that what it was?
152 miles across the Sahara.
Jeez. Did you ever get thirsty? I assume you got a little thirsty.
You know, in the desert, believe it or not, like I never got that thirsty. No, right?
No shit, really?
Yeah.
Dude, are you kidding me? You're thirsty all the time, man. Yeah.
Did you see like oases every now and then? Like you thought it was there, but it wasn't a nice mirage of any kind. So.
Yeah, you definitely see some of those. And the crazy thing, before I went over there, I competed in the strongest man in Maryland contest, the 220 and under, and I torn my rotator cuff with an Atlas stone. Actually torn it, and I had a 1-inch tear. And my doctor's like, "You can't go run," because I had to run with a pack through Sahara. And I'm like, "Dude, I've already signed up. I've spent thousands of dollars." So he just took a needle and bang, stuck I guess it's like this cortisone, whatever that shot is, like in my shoulder. Steroid. And he gave me, this is way back, like 20 years ago. So he gave me Oxycontin and Vicodin, I think it was. And I mean, dude, I'm like, I've been pretty clean for a while now, so I don't know shit about Oxycontin.
Right.
But he's like, you're feeling bad out in the desert, pop some of these. Dude, I'm telling you what, that 150-mile run was like a 7-day Pink Floyd concert. Oh my God. It was the most amazing time ever.
Wow.
Wow.
Feeling sounds and hearing colors and all kinds of stuff.
Totally.
When you're doing that, Joe, do you listen to music, or are you just like in your own head? What do you do?
In my own head. It's basically like stuff like, like there's things out there that can kill you, like, I mean,
right.
There's snakes and other.
Right. As you say, right. Yeah. Yeah. You got to be alert. You can't be listening to, like Sam would listen to the Bee Gees a lot, I imagine, when he works out.
That's my go-to. That's my go-to. But as far as this guy runs, the batteries don't last long enough anyway.
That's true.
Point.
True.
Yeah. You have to carry your own battery pack. Yeah. You get about
He's old Energizer buddy. It's amazing. So, wow. So you've done all this, and now, of course, you have your own. Now, is this? You've really turned this into more of. I'm sure you got a gym aspect to it as well, but you're more into the outdoor fitness of making it happen anywhere. This Gut Check Fitness, correct? So, can you go kind of more into detail on that, because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, Sam. The premise behind it is, I want to combine, like, I grew up as a farm kid, and my mom was a janitor, my dad was a welder. I mean, we didn't have a pot to piss in. I couldn't afford a gym membership like back then. So I found out interesting and creative ways, like, using farm implements, from tractor weights to the tires and stuff like that. And I'd get ready for football season. I'd find out, I'd be one of the strongest kids on the team doing a lot of that kind of natural strongman type stuff. I mean, I couldn't, maybe the specific lifts, but everything else. And then with the military, love that. So when I got out, I missed all that. And gut check is a term that's common in the military. Kyle would know it very well. And they're always like, "Come on, son, right now it's a gut check. What are you made of?" So when I got out, I was looking for something that was kind of, the things that I really enjoyed doing. And I still like going to the gym, but I missed that kind of outdoor guys getting after it, picking up rocks, getting dirty, throwing shit around. So I decided to start something. And I started out in Washington, D.C., did it there for about 13, 14 years, and then moved out here and continued it. And we've been doing it here for 15 years. So it's just basically, it's fun, challenging. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we get after it pretty good. It's just, we get out there, again, rocks, logs, swamps, ponds, hills, valleys, briars, you name it. And we do that kind of stuff. So just to kind of supplement, but then we also host events around the nation and around the world too, like overnight events and then multi-overnight events and stuff like that. So it's been nice because I used to own the company, but now I work for my wife, which just changed a few years ago, which isn't so bad, but we get travel together.
Worse bosses. You haven't met my boss. Should be worse.
No, we get to travel the world together and host events, and I mean, it's just so much fun, and you get to inspire and motivate, young men and women. And then I run into a lot of them that have either come from dealing without drugs and alcohol in the past and know my story, or just people that are looking just to want to take it to the next level. And it's a great life. We really enjoy it.
Right. And you have these are available online as well, correct?
We do stuff online too. Like I do online coaching. Both of us do. We coach, again, training, because we both have our degrees in exercise physiology. She has her master's. She's a lot smarter than me. I'm just the beauty of the operation. But we help train people. Not true.
She's not in the room, is she?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's ducking and dodging like.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do online training too. We do challenges. We just, anything. I always look at it like this. Anything fun that I can think of, it's like, shit, why not do it? I try to come up with things, and I'm all about motivating, inspiring, empowering, and then staying motivated myself, because as we get older, it's easy to kind of fall by the wayside. But I just try to have a good time. And then we do Zoom workouts every week too, which has been we transitioned last year during the COVID-19, because being an outdoor fitness guy, now I'm doing Zoom. I still do them outdoors, but that's been pretty interesting. But it's the same type of workout, and a lot of them are the same type of workouts I created to break the world record. So it's getting after it, and a lot of body weight stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of your workouts? You're like the difference. I know for me, when I did do a workout, it gets so goddamn boring just running that straight ahead. Did you find yourself like, I got to do something more interesting? I could get dirty. I got to flip a log. I got to jump in a river and swim with crocodiles or whatever crazy shit you've done. Is that part of it, just to keep that fresh and fun and interesting for yourself?
Completely. Yeah, completely. Again, like, I have a gym, like working out in the gym and stuff like that. And I love that component of it. I'm a big component of incorporating a little bit of everything. So I like to think, that's a great component. There's, yoga is a great component. CrossFit's a great component. Ours is kind of the fun. We're kind of the Beavis and Butthead of fitness. Like we're out there having fun. But that being said, it's definitely all the events we do pay tribute to the military. So, and your brother's like Beavis and Butthead. So he's quite the Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, how long do these workouts normally last? You get them done in 30 minutes, an hour? How long do they last?
Yeah. So our Zoom workouts, we do, they're 50 minutes. And then my wife does flexibility afterwards. She's got her background and everything, but she does the proper flexibility. They're very well programmed. And that's the thing that we're really big on, having our degrees, is making programmed workouts, making them accessible. That we do ask people to bring dumbbells if they have them. If not, they can bring things at home, but everyone seems to be able to get dumbbells, because we like to throw a little bit of lighter strength training in there. But yeah, then we also have a 4-hour event that we host. We have a 12-hour, and we have a 36-hour events that we host too. And we actually have one coming up in Hell, Michigan, up Brian, your neck of the woods there.
There you go, Delaney. We're in.
Oh, blue.
Gonna go to Michigan is it a 4-hour event? Because I can't do 12 or 36. There's no way.
We got 4 and 12.
Okay. Can we split it? Can we do like 2 hours each? Is that fair? Like tag team, man.
You can split it up.
Superfly Snuka and Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Like
if Delaney agrees to do it, I will pay his way if he agrees to do it, because I'd like to just watch it myself. So I would like to watch that.
Well, what if I'm really good at it? I'm not, but what if I really was good?
Then I'd just be impressed. Yeah. For sure.
Hey, Joe, what do you we're talking about a lot of physical fitness. Do you do anything for your mental fitness? Do you do meditation or anything like that?
I don't do meditation. I guess my biggest thing would be reading. I'm an extremely avid reader. Like, I've read every book's won a Pulitzer Prize. Like, I read books like I run miles. Like, it's just kind of, keeps it's my shut off time, and I love to read and expand my brain and my horizon. And the beauty about reading is, again, growing up with basically a poor kid on a farm, man, you can travel the entire universe with a book. And that's, I think, for a lot of kids, young men and women out there, like, well, if you have a book, a great, good book, and I mean, the universe is, at your fingertips. But yeah, absolutely. Lots of reading.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, I mean, you don't seem like a guy that knows how to sit still for a minute. I should probably ask your wife this, but what obviously reading you do to unwind? You're able to sit down and have a glass of wine and read and kind of decompress. Anything else? What are fun things you like to do? Movies or anything else?
No movies. I eat a lot of pizza and drink a lot of wine and smoke cigars. Those are so read, wine, pizza, cigars, and then work out. So
in that order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like about
I'm just
two of those things.
I'm just picturing him. I'm just picturing him reading a book, and it's just like flipping through the pages like this real fast. So he gets done with another book and grab another one. So, how many books can I read in 24 hours? So it's crazy.
All right, my wife wants to chime in. Like, don't get her started over here.
Absolutely, more the barrier.
She's the boss. Let's hear it.
That's right. Right. She wants to join. Yeah. Now, Joe, we've got another page that's kind of attached to the Behind the Mic show. It's called Build the Machine. It's kind of to help people, talk about, get them into, fitness and whatnot. What are your thoughts on people that are just getting started?
Anyone just getting started, number one, like, hats off to them. Don't get frustrated. Set realistic goals. Don't quit. And understand, like, you didn't get probably in the shape. If you're in bad shape right now, that didn't happen overnight, and you're not going to become, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or, well, I guess Arnold's not as fit as he used to be, but I'm not dating myself. It's not going to happen like within a couple months or so. Just be realistic. Don't give up. Set obtainable goals. Make a plan. Find a fitness partner. Someone maybe in the same boat as you, or find a good fitness community like what you're talking about. You're building a machine. Find a vibrant community like that, like-minded people, and that's really about it. And I guess don't be afraid to try everything. And definitely one big thing I always tell people are like, well, I hate running. I'm like, don't run. Like, well, I need to run to get fit. I'm like, that's not going to work for you. If you hate running, like, what do you like to do? Find something you like to do and become passionate about it, whether it be mountain biking, hiking, stand-up paddleboarding. Well, don't do that. That's still a little creepy, but find out something here.
How about sit-down paddleboarding?
The surfers out here hate stand-up paddleboarding. Like, what are you guys going to try to destroy our damn...
Lane, can you imagine if this guy was your fitness buddy? What a fucking pain in the ass it'd be. He'd never be like, I'm taking the day off. No. You could never wait for that phone call. You would be like, he'd be at your door knocking about an hour early. Like,
the phone calls and the text would be constant. So you just be like, screw it, I'm up.
It's a level of commitment that many people cannot do. So once you're in with Joe, you're in for life. That's just the way it goes. So
I will say, watching some of the things you do, and I think you'd probably agree to this, is that, obviously there's multiple aspects to it, but I think one of the things I always like to strive to people is it's that functional fitness, right? It's like, what's the things that you're having a hard time every day doing? And those are the things that you should probably get good at. And I'm a bigger guy, so mine was body weight exercise, right? Like push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups were my biggest thing for the longest time, and air squats when I was trying to get back into shape, because it's like, well, those are functional things. It's me supporting my own body. And then, but there's steps to that too. I mean, I have cheat bands for my pull-ups that I can help band myself up and start doing that. I know, Sam, I don't have 18-inch arms and
tragic. Hey, you know what? But I suck at pull-ups. I suck at them. I don't know why. I do everything else, but pull-ups I just terrible at.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a functional fitness thing. That's you pulling your body up. It's doing things like that. And I always tell people that, you don't have to bench 500 pounds or do any of these other things. It's functional fitness. If you can move and maintain and control your body, I mean, there's a lot of guys who are incredibly fit that are not a walking poster child for just muscles bulging everywhere. I mean, you got to be able to move.
Yeah, no, and that's a big thing, and it doesn't take especially as we get older. I mean, I just turned 20. Wait, how old did I turn, Nick? Oh, I guess 50. 50 last year, you find like, I mean, unfortunately, because I've been pretty active for since I gave up the bad stuff, the last 20 years, but you do see the body it does start to change. We start to lose, flexibility. We start to lose that muscle density. And if you're married, you lose your mind, your hair, everything else is gone. So, I mean, it's, things start to go to hell. So you got to find something. No, you're right. So, I mean, push-ups.
Push-ups. Yeah, can you take a punch? Let's go see it in a minute.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Functional stuff like that, though, is so true. And it doesn't take much, I mean, because especially you find a lot of people, they're embarrassed. I mean, people are self-conscious today with the, this damn selfie shit and everything else. Like, I mean, everyone's afraid to if you don't look like one of these brainless Instagram influencers, you don't want to go, oh, sorry, I mean, I didn't even think of that there.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would look right.
Hey, it's my cross to bear, boys.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I've posted I don't know how many pictures of my behind, and I don't get 1,000 likes, and I haven't figured it out yet.
No,
it's like I mean, I try to do all the pictures where I push my rear end out and take a photograph of it. It doesn't look right. Yoga pants don't work for me. I just haven't figured it out yet. I don't know what the key is to get.
You gotta get them like Amazon ass pop pants or whatever those are. I'm gonna get some of those.
But Joe's right. Yeah, the body does change. So.
Too funny.
Joe, question from one of our. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
This is a real important question here. Brian Glick, one of the old guys we grew up with, wants to know in the fitness mind, what military MRE is the best meal for fitness when you're in the field?
Oh man,
you got any meatballs? I assume.
Chicken a la king, man. Chicken a la king. I'm telling you what, you warm that baby up. That's by far the best. Oh, got me thinking about the good old days now.
The MREs, yeah. Isn't that food you just kind of rented? It didn't really stay there very long.
Nasty. Joe, for those that struggle to get started on a fitness journey, we got people that they're self-conscious, they're scared to death to walk into a gym. They think they don't look right. They a certain thing about that. What about those people? What do you recommend to those people that are just having a hard time just even getting over those things?
Yeah, I guess, and I do understand that, because I mean, there's a lot of people out there like it, and that might be good for them to possibly even start at home, to start maybe with an online community or something like that. But I think it really comes down to boiling it down to, it doesn't really matter what Nicole thinks or what Bob or Jim thinks. The bottom line is an investment in health and fitness and wellness is an investment in the longevity of your life. And it really is that. We can sit and bullshit about it all we want to, but the reality of things is, it's that important. And it's like, it's selfish if you don't. Like, people, they don't understand, but it's people that work out. I don't think necessarily being selfish. I think they're opposite of not being selfish, because for a mother or a father or a grandmother, or grandfather, or a sister or brother to be around longer and be able to enjoy their family and their friends and their loved ones, it's part of it is by leading a healthy and healthy lifestyle and being, and investing in fitness and stuff like that. So I think rather than say, oh, look at me, like, I don't look like anybody else, say, you know what, I am that important and that valuable, and I just want to enjoy the rest of my life. And when I do leave it, to leave with a little bit of dignity and pride, and hopefully with my head held high. And that's really what it boils down to. All this bullshit about this, a lot of it's bullshit. It's bullshit. What really matters is you. What really matters is you, and you being able to enjoy the rest of the years of your life, and just being able to get out there and do things, travel and have fun, and nothing else you see is relevant. I mean, it's just facade and phony.
That's an excellent
point. Social media, that'd be a good start, huh?
Very true, very true. And I don't know if we've mentioned in a while what we need to. I don't know if you guys did at the start, but we want to thank our sponsor, of course, yes. Bill Atwood with North Wayne Insurance. Of course, I was checked out there for a little bit of my always internet problems, but at least I got a better excuse this time instead of being in Western Kentucky. But nevertheless, so Bill Atwood, thank you for always being our sponsor. And in saying that, Lane, what else you got for this incredible human being? One question I've got before I let Lane go with his giant brain. Joe, you're always, attacking mountains, climbing mountains and going upward and onward. What is next for you? What other goals do you have set up in the near future? Let's say maybe a year from now, 5 years from now. What are you thinking ahead of?
Yeah, Sam, I definitely have my fitness ones. Like I'm still trying to. I mean, I still got to continue because I love that and I enjoy that. But on a bigger picture side, like is how to, because I published books and stuff in the past, but unfortunately, I didn't quite look like Denise Austin or some of the other people out there, and they didn't go over so well.
Great reference.
And I think they're a little more straightforward. But it is how, like you guys, like the Build the Machine and stuff like that, and with the Gut Check is how to get the message out to people. And I think today it's more important than ever because the social media, people, it's like this Instagram, these influencers, influencing what? It's like most of them are, I hate to say it, I don't like to be callous and like talk down, but there's mental midgets. And it's like, you're only helping yourself when I think our goal is to help everyone else. And I think that's one of the biggest things I know with our company is we're trying to do is to get out there and reach as many people. I mean, we have worked, last year we worked with the military to try to overhaul the Air Force, which holy moly, let me tell you, that's a lot of work right there with their fitness. I don't want to pick on any of my Air Force brothers and sisters out there, but
everyone knows.
Yeah. But just to try to just spread the love and spread the joy and to spread the importance of taking care of yourself, especially, I mean, as human lives, we're just trying to make it easier. And the easier we get it, the worse we're going. I mean, it's just both are going like that. I mean, the type 2 diet, I mean, obesity is almost going to take over heart disease. It's number one killer, and it's definitely, it's like, dude, it's something we can prevent, I mean,
right. Come
on. So I don't know, just to try to motivate and inspire, just try to get people excited and enjoy life and stay healthy and live long and strong.
The childhood obesity, that's one of the you have a foundation. Let's talk a little bit about that. I read that in your bio.
I was on the game show The Weakest Link a few years ago, right. Which worked out pretty good because they didn't realize I was actually, when I got out of the military, I was in honors pre-law. So I got out of I dropped out of honors pre-law. Yeah. Well, I woke up one day and I was just getting ready to take my law school admissions test, and I had that epiphany, like, the fuck am I doing? I'm gonna be a lawyer? This is gonna be my life. Like, I can run fast, but I can't catch an ambulance. So I decided to be a lawyer. So I dropped out. When I actually came back around, I got into exercise physiology and science. But I got on The Weakest Link and won $75,000 on The Weakest Link. And of course, like every good Midwestern redneck kid, I was going to buy a new Dodge Viper or Corvette.
Not like an IROC T-tops.
Hey, that's a little bit after IROC power. I'd have had one.
Some white trash kid from Peoria.
Yeah. Is either that or Monster
They're a good
Truck.
company, by the way.
No, so I decided I don't know, just had this boom to do something cool with it. And my mom, I told you was a janitor, she had got mesothelioma, removing asbestos from the grade schools, and they fired her because anyway, it's just a bullshit thing. So I decided to set up a scholarship in her name for low income, smart kids from around central Illinois, around the area that I was from, to try to give them a leg up to go to school and get out of that kind of depressed and small-minded area. But then part of what we set up was a childhood obesity fund to look at the Midwest and what was going on. Because, Midwestern farm community is definitely different than a more urban Chicago area and stuff like that. So they really started looking at it, and they started spending a lot of time working with the schools around there, with the activity and stuff like that. Because you guys know, when we were kids, we had to do PE. They don't have to today. They don't have to, like, physical education and stuff, not a part of it. So started that too. And it's still going strong back at my alma mater and Western Illinois University of Macomb, Illinois, which wasn't a bad place at all to go to school. And
the Leathernecks.
Going back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Didn't we play them Lane in college? Didn't Blackburn play?
No, we didn't play
No.
Western. No,
What
not in
was the
football.
That'd been a little too big, wouldn't it?
They would have been, yeah, because they were
Team
one double
kicked
A.
you playing them, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, they were.
I don't know what I'm thinking of, but yeah.
Westerns where Brian Cox went to school too.
Oh,
So,
then we
Yeah.
definitely didn't play them. Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely didn't play them.
I'd love to have seen that. I'd love to have seen Brian Cox take you out, Sammy. That'd be great.
Actually,
just leave my shoes.
Beat
That's,
your
that's all that's left on the field.
clean.
he's a little older than us. I just remember I met Brian Cox at a football camp in East St. Louis. So I just totally off the topic, but that's where I remember. And he told me he went to Macomb because I was thinking about going there, and then went to Blackburn. So it's how it goes. But no, that's the foundation's amazing. I think that's awesome. You are definitely an inspiration. You're motivating. Like just talking to you right now, I'd like to go out and run, but it's dark, and I
I'm
all
tired.
those other
I'm
things.
about 4 drinks in too, so that ain't happening.
I haven't had that many. I just
Wait,
had
only
one.
4? Come on, Brian.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
2-ounce bourbon, 4 fingers times 2,
Yeah.
whatever.
Four is about what Brian has in the first 20 minutes of the show, and then it gets kind of crazy. So no, I'm just kidding. But no, I think it's great. I love your the events you do. I think are kind of cool. I would love to get I don't know about Michigan. I have to look how far that is, but I would love to get into try and do a 4-hour one. I mean, it would kill me, but you know what? For it, I'm kind of like you and what you're talking about the mountain. If I have something to train for, I train that much harder than
Sure.
if I just go out and try and stay. If I have a goal, it definitely and like you said, making attainable goals. I remember way back in the day, and we're talking way back in the day when I did bodybuilding. I was kind of motivated to go, and then the guy who was one of our coaches, he walks up and he says, "Okay, well, I've got your what you're going to wear on stage," and it fit in his hand, and he let it go, and I'm like, "Okay, I really need to drop some weight now." So it gets you serious when you realize you're going to be on stage with wearing nothing more than being a glorified bikini model. So it was like, but it helped. And I also had a group of people, which I think is paramount. I had a group of people that we worked out with. And like you said, the better your workout buddies, the better your workouts are. So
Completely.
Go back
and Joe, your thoughts on, because obviously you are hugely motivated and obviously committed, to what you do. But there are people out there that struggle with that. They lack the motivation. They maybe will get started, but then they'll last a couple of weeks and quit. That happens, not judging anybody, but what do you recommend to those people that lack the motivation, that lack the commitments? What pointers would you give them to maybe kind of fix that to where they could stick with it better?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. Yeah, I think for all of you out there that are in maybe that boat, again, try to, if you're having problems yourself, try to become part of a community, because there's so many great communities. I mean, it sounds like what you guys do, what we do, and it's easy today. It's easy to shop. It's not like the old days when you just had to join the local, the local Gold's Gym. Which,
yeah,
or the Y, yeah, and nothing wrong with the Y or Gold's Gym, but
no, right.
Maybe it wasn't for you. Find that thing, and again, find something you enjoy. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, people say, they always tell me, I hate working out, I hate doing this, hate doing that. I'm like, well, then don't. They're like, well, I want to get healthy and fit. It's like, listen, find something you're passionate about that is a healthy lifestyle, and then everything else becomes a byproduct of that. If you like hiking, just become a hiker. If you like cycling, become a cyclist. If you like windsurfing, do that. But if you're getting outside and you're investing into your health and fitness is going to become a byproduct of that, not the goal. Because if I was there and say, here's what health and fitness is, you're going to be like, dude, I'm not buying that. That sounds like shit. I don't really want to do that.
I'm out, man.
Let it be something that happens. Don't make it the focus. And that's why people that they'll come to us and say, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds by blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, we're not for you. Like, I'm not a fat farm. And the thing is, you lose 10 pounds. Well, what are you doing then? I say, hey, how about let's look at, and again, we train people like strongman is my background to ultra running. What do you like to do? I like to run. Let's look at a marathon 8 months from now. Let's start with baby steps. Let's get you to marathon like at the end of the year. I want to do a strongman or find like a powerlifting meet. Let's start now. And again, down the road, but let's find those little baby steps, but find that thing you're passionate about. And then you'll continue to be passionate about it, once you get into it. And then fitness is a byproduct. So I guess that's what I tell them, Sam, is like, don't force that round peg in a square hole. Cause It ain't gonna work. That dog don't hunt. You ain't.
That's right. Yep, that's right. And I've told people many times, like, like you said, maybe the gym's not for you, but go for a walk, do something, anything, find you a buddy, something where you can motivate each other, and just keep each other accountable. It's as simple as that. Just keep moving, something. And then you can work your way up to bigger and better things, as long as you can get moving. It's hard for people to get off the couch. It's hard for them to take the first step, basically, as a lot of times seems like.
That's really, for me, I just really struggle with that myself, frankly. Just get going. I guess I got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow. Right. No, goddamn, tomorrow. I promise. I got this to do. Yeah. Thursday.
Well, it's kind of like going out for a jog now. It's like, for me, it's like, what's the worst part of the jog? What's the first quarter mile? Because it's terrible. I don't want to do
my fucking shoes on.
No, the worst part is just getting out of the damn bed.
Yeah,
right.
Very true.
Like,
right.
Oh man, you're in a fart sack, like all curled up, like.
Oh yeah, well, nice and warm.
Yeah.
Right. That's so Joe, what does your typical day look like? I mean, what time are you up and going? What time are you, what time does it finally shut down?
So I'm up every day at 4:45. I've been getting up at 04:45 for about 20 some years now, and I absolutely hate it. I'm not gonna lie to you. People are like, you must be a morning person. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? No. But up in the morning, you know what, guys? I found for me, like, I find it easy. Like, I love happy hour. I mean, listen, I told you, as much as I work out, I love to have happy hour. And if I wait until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, working out is not gonna win that fight. No, there's no way. Happy hour. So get up at 4:45. I teach classes. I either do the outdoors or I do the Zoom, and and I'm part of it too. And then I do my own workouts after that. Like, I do speed work, hill work, strength training. I do a lot of functional heavy dumbbell stuff, which I really like now. Like the barbell stuff is kind of, we get older, like it's, but I found the functional dumbbell and heavy stuff. And weekends are long distance hiking. We do a lot of camping, a lot of mountain biking, a lot of just find fun shit to do, on the weekends.
Active. Yeah.
Yeah. The first part of the day is work, business, stuff like that. But the good thing, you get up early, it's out of the way, the rest of your day is gravy. And then by the time happy hour rolls around at 4, I got a couple hours of happy hour, and then I'd be home having dinner and in bed.
Nice. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it would be one of the better times to work out is in the morning. And I used to, and that's what still frustrates me, because my internal clock still gets me up at 4 to 5 o'clock every morning. It's just my lazy self doesn't get myself out of bed till like 6 or 7. So,
well, especially this time of year too in the Midwest.
Yeah,
you remember, Joe? It's like, you remember those days? I mean, it can't be 65 all day out there.
No.
Like, you son of a bitch.
No, but Brandon, I tell you one thing that I do. I like now. I don't miss because I spent my time there. Was, man, you're tougher than hell if you can get up. And I did. You can get up in the Midwest or anywhere like that and work out in the morning when it's cold. You're a friggin' badass man or woman. Us people in San Diego, we're friggin' mamby-pamby. I mean, hell, man, we're up at 60 degrees at 4:30, It's like, it's not that bad. I'm definitely not as tough as I was back then, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I like 60 degrees at 4:45.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
That'll keep me in San Diego a long time. So, for all the injuries, surely you've had some injuries for all the races and stuff you've done. You talked about a rotator cuff. Has there been an injury that just shut you down for a period of time that, like, you're like ACL or something? I mean, you've had to have everything busted or
I had most things. I had anterior compartment syndrome and I almost had my leg amputated from the knee down. I got a 13-inch scar. This is back in the day. So that's the one. And the unfortunate thing is they gutted it and it's actually got gangrenous and they cut a lot of the nerves and stuff out. So being a young man, I was able to get through it, but now 50, the damn thing is starting to fall apart.
Problematic, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, they back then they didn't care about what they cut out. They just cut it out. Now I'm having a lot of problems with it, but yeah, I mean, the normal, the normal things, man. I've had every joint, every elbow, every shoulder, every knee, every boom. But fortunately, I've been able to rehab it and get it all back. And my wife's the brains behind all that stuff. I break them, she fixes them, just like myself.
Was there ever a time where you got injured, you couldn't finish a race or an event or anything? Were you able to usually gut it through? And
no. The only one would be Barkley. The Barkley marathon was the only one that I haven't. But Most of them, Bill, luckily I'm not real smart, so I'm stupid enough that I can drag my leg around like a three-legged dog until I get to the finish line. I did almost have my crew cut my toes off at Badwater one year, which was definitely an interesting time.
Wow. Wow.
I feel like Ronnie Lott.
No kidding. Yeah, Ronnie Lott. Just cut it off. It'll be fine.
You do silly things when you're out there.
Guy Joe, you're a Illinois guy. Are you a fan of Bears or Cardinals baseball or anything like that? Do you follow sports much?
I'm not a big sports fan. I'm too busy and active. But I grew up with Walter Payton as my hero. Just
Right.
because Sweetness was he was a great human being. Incredible athlete. He played with a shitty ass team until the year they won. But
Right.
Yeah, so Bears, and it's only because of Walter, that. But Michael Jordan, of course, with the Bulls was pretty fun to watch too.
Yeah.
Not much anymore, especially the Bears now, because that makes me pull all my hair out.
Disappointing. Yeah, I'm thinking about stopping sports too.
Let's fade. Let's fade. Yeah. And Joe, you're apparently a pizza aficionado. So what's your favorite?
Oh man, we've traveled the world. We actually got married over in Italy, so we love Napolitano pizza. We can eat it. We usually eat about twice a week. Good old Neapolitan pizza, just simple margarita, red sauce, a little mozzarella, basil. Man, you can't beat it. But it's got to be the good stuff. That being said, we had Detroit pizza last week, and we're an equal opportunity pizza eater. But
that pizza, that stuff's just terrible. You don't eat that shit, do you?
We don't discriminate against any pizza.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Hey, I'm supposed to ask you about my brother hallucinating at Rabbit Peak. Is there a story there you'd like to share about that jackass?
Oh, yeah. He might have been walking in circles a little bit.
You should have shoved him off a pier.
That wasn't in common. That crazy bastard just kept on going.
Yeah, that's doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, with a smile on his face.
He gets work out for you now. He's a fat piece of shit. Now he should get in touch with you again.
Oh, shot across the bow.
Hope he's watching.
the comments will start flowing now. So
I teed him up. This ought to be good.
Yeah.
What other questions we got for him out there?
Let's see. So Heath Hamilton has a good. I don't know if it's a question more than a comment. Is a 20-piece nugget large fry? Is that recommended with a Diet Coke? Would you?
Go all the way.
Listen, don't be a little bitch. If you're gonna go big. Go all
yeah,
the
just
way.
go big or home, right?
Get a chocolate shake with that damn thing.
Absolutely. That sounds like he's carb loading for something.
Yeah.
Joe, that brings me. I'm glad Heath brought that up because you see all these different diets that are going around right now, like the keto diet. There's so many different lay off the carbs, stuff like that. Are you more of just kind of basically eat the right things, or what do you think about these diets that are out there right now? What are your general opinion?
Sam, my number one. You look at the first three letters of the word diet is die, and it doesn't sound like a very good time to me. And I'm just diets. I think it's bullshit. I don't think you need a diet. Come on, number one, most of us are smarter than a Neanderthal. Maybe not 3/4 of my family reunion, but most of us are. We know what the hell to eat, for Christ's sakes. If I set down a Big Mac, and then I set down a chicken breast and rice and veggies and a Big Mac and fries, guys, we know what to eat. It's really a lot of it's common sense. People just like to pretend like they're, that they're still a Neanderthal. And I'm about everything in moderation. I like to say our rule is 80% good, 20% bad. But since COVID, we're about 80-20 bad, about 20 good. So we've both got the COVID-19 now. The freshman 15, I need to work off. But not a diet fan. Just eat. Come on now. Just use your brain and figure it out. It's not rocket science, and don't make it rocket science. I know when people I don't know what to eat. Yeah, he pulls some bullshit. It's like, I'm sorry, are you really, Rain Man? You don't know what the hell to eat? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know you shouldn't eat.
Radio.
Yeah.
Well, it comes in. I mean, every diet and all this other things, it comes down to some basic principles, right? And it's like you can't consume more calories than you're gonna burn in a day.
Simple math.
So
That's the short and long of it right there, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's simple mathematics.
Yeah.
None of those
So
are
you just-
typically sustainable either.
you-
You know,
you
like
try
what are you
and-
gonna do when you
you-
lose your 20 pounds? You're gonna go back off your diet, then you're gonna just put that shit back on. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
and it's bad because we work with I have in the past worked with so many yo-yo dieters that they don't realize the more they F their metabolism up, and you guys know, man, the harder it is to lose it. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'd rather just keep a couple pounds on, stay a little chubby and not have to
Right.
worry about it rather than go like, that roller coaster up and down. It's kind of enjoy life. And,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, Joe, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you? What websites should they go to? What Facebook pages? We've shared it on our page multiple times, but just so they can hear you say it, where should they go?
They go to gutcheckfitness.com. They can find everything about our workouts, our online Zoom classes, working out with me one-on-one, all of our events from the suck to we have fun all-terrain runs around the nation. We're even doing one this year in Lubbock, Texas. Or not Lubbock, I'm sorry, Lukenbach, which would be a lot of fun.
It's like the sun.
But yeah, Gut Check Fitness. Our fan page is Gut Check Fitness. Yeah, anything right there. And if they have any questions, they can email Nicole at Gut Check Fitness. She's the brains, as I always say, and I'm the beauty. So just drop her a line.
And my question, then I'll let these guys ask their last question because we've taken up enough of your time. And thanks again for making the time. But since you did some powerlifting and stuff like that too, what was your max on bench, squat, and deadlift?
All right, so I'm trying to think. My max for bench was 425, 430. And then again, I was at the 181 pound class.
God.
So 420 or 430. Deadlift was around 600, and then squat was around 600 too.
Freak.
Hey, I will tell you.
Yeah.
So I used to powerlift as well, and that 180 class was by far the worst. There was too many, and I was never small enough to be in that weight class. That weight class had the biggest freaks because every competition I went to, the number one lifter based off coefficient came in that 180 pound class almost all the time.
Well, all the 180 pound guys, we all start at 200 and we just fucking shred our asses down to get to 181. The next day you're back up to 198.
True. No,
Lane, you ain't seen 180 since 4th grade, have you?
No, probably not. It's been a while. 180. Yeah. That was grade school at the bare minimum. So, but no, I don't know if I have any questions, Joe. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I think it's great knowledge. I think you have a great message here. And I also think your approach is what's a little different, but I think what needs more of is just, an encouragement goes a lot longer than putting somebody down. You're an encouraging guy to find multiple ways to find fitness for everyone out there. And we appreciate you on the show. Thank you for hanging through some of our technical difficulties. I know I had a brief moment there as well. Usually the internet's a little is a little kinder to us than it was tonight. But again, Sam is kind of like Linus from the Peanuts but with the thing that's floating around him is just internet problems. Everywhere he goes, there's an outage, a delay.
He's like Pigpen.
I'm sorry, Pigpen. I meant Pigpen, not Linus. Yes, thank you. And everywhere he goes, everywhere he goes. Well, and Sam carries bad internet with him, so it's kind of like Linus too. He carries
wherever
it
he goes.
Wherever he
This
goes.
is Blanky.
So you're saying don't watch internet porn around Sam?
No,
it's gonna be disappointing.
It'll be disappointing. It'll
it's
cut
more
time.
There's more animals in there you'd rather see anyway too. Probably, I imagine.
Imagination, because the internet freezes up. It's just no good. So anyway, Delaney, you got anything left for Joe?
I don't. I appreciate you coming on. Like Lane and Sam said, it was a real cool thing to meet you. And my brother talks highly of you. And again, thank you. I appreciate it. And absolutely. You've got a great message and do some great things. And I actually, one question: do you have a favorite thing you've done as far as races or what? Like you say, oh, this is the best one. I'll never top this. Have you found that?
Yeah, I would say Barkley. I don't know if you guys know anything about the Barkley Marathon. The guy that starts it last, he's just he's just a nutcase. He starts out by he lights a Camel cigarette. Only like 15 people in 30 years have finished the race. I've dropped out of it twice, and it's the only race I've never completed, and so it's my favorite. I just love the fact, that I go there and twice I've done it, and twice I got my ass kicked. And he has a documentary called the Barkley Marathon. You get check it out, because the guy, he's a unique individual to say the least, but he puts on some pretty cool events. You get a kick out of it nonetheless. But yeah, and I want to thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the banter. You guys got a great thing going on. Love the dynamics. Just a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun to.
Thank you.
Yeah, that we
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you very much.
it. Joe, before we let you go, thank you for your service and especially, of course, that, but thank you for what you're doing for people, around the world now, getting them moving and getting them healthier. So that's awesome. But you were a blast. We knew this would be a great show with you and your energy. So thank you again for that. And if you ever need anything from the show at all, we'll continue to, share your page and promote that for you. And hopefully we can get some people that are, jump in, and some crazies that want to join your crazy group and do your online stuff and go from there. So
we'd love to have you back sometime too, if you'd be considering.
Oh man, anytime, guys. I love bantering and just talking shit like this. I'm really good at it, right, wife?
No, that was great. So
all right. Well, once again, thank our sponsor, Bill Atwood, North Wayne Insurance. Make sure and contact him with all your insurance needs. And to everybody that tuned in tonight, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for the questions as well, as we do this every week. And we'll come to you next week as well. So I think that's about it. So Lane Pie, send us home, Big Daddy.